Okay, so here's the deal. This is not political. Okay, I'm just gonna say this is not political because I don't need somebody dumber than me to find some way to make it political and make it look like I'm talking about something political, because that's not even where we're going. Alright? So basically, the word accountability, it's good and it's not good. Okay? It's really good and it's also really not good. Because you have to think about, obviously, the word accountability. You should always be holding yourself accountable to a degree where you're able to fix yourself and upgrade from where you currently are. So if you can't mentally understand where you're currently at, you're not going to get better. But there's a problem with the word accountability, and that problem is that people use it in energy to represent literally what do you call it, restriction, right? So you just have to be smart, and you also, in order to be smart, you have to look at yourself and be like, I'm really stupid. A genius never thought they were smart until they were already a genius, and that was provable. A narcissist always thinks they're not one. But then there's some people who walk around being like, no, it's probably me, it must be me, right? Guess what? Life hack. 99% of the people won't think that there's a category of people who believe that by default they're the narcissist. They'll believe that by default they're the innocent party. They'll believe there is no default. They'll believe they're the innocent party by default. Life hack. Life hack. Do narcissists exist? There's a tier where they'll say, a higher tier where they'll say, they don't even exist, where they're just, blatantly, outright, they don't exist, right? And then there's the group of people who are well, they exist, but I'm not one. Maybe they've worked on themselves and they're actually not one, but there are a lot of people who would, if it's never crossed their mind that they could have been, then, why do they think that they're not one? And then there's the people who are it's possible that or they're I've already worked through the possibility that I could have been one, but I'm not. Or I've already questioned that because of whatever situation, but I know that I'm not because of me getting to the other side of that. Yeah, not everyone's gonna get that. But a lot of people think that even if they're just looking at a photo of themselves, they're a narcissist, right? Or some people think, oh, they intentionally gaslit someone, does that make them a narcissist? Or somebody else did that to them, does that make the person who did it to them one? Maybe that helps you to be it might not be me, but does that mean that I'm always assuming it's other people? Because then there might be an issue that's not out of the closet. If you think that it's essentially, what you think everybody else is, you either become or you already are. Because you're either projecting, or people like to say that I forgot to use water. You know when you have to use water when you brush your teeth? Or it tastes so bad. Basically, long story short, if you walk around your entire life and you say, well, okay, you build your own matrix and then you prove your own matrix wrong, so what do you really want your matrix to be? We'll start there. What do you actually want your matrix to be? Because if you walk around all of the time, let's say there's two scenarios, there's not. There's 8 million multiplied by 72 to the power of -3 or something, right? It doesn't make sense. It's not going to be quantifiable. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh, I look kind of cute. Okay. Anyway, why? I'm I don't ever. Why? Okay. The point is, okay, there's a category of people who set up a matrix in their mind where they're I must be so terrible. I must be the worst person ever, okay? I must be so terrible. And then that's the matrix they're proving wrong. Is the matrix of I'm so terrible. So it's actually kind of better if you started out with that at some point in time, because then you walk around. Eventually, if you're smart, which you might not be, but eventually, if you are smart, you're going to have cracks in your matrix of whatever you built up, and you're going to create, like, the cracks in the matrix where, like, you're going to be like, actually, I walked around thinking I was, like, really terrible for whatever reason. I'm actually kind of, like, fine, though. Like, I'm actually kind of normal. Like, I'm actually kind of maybe good. I don't know. Like, I might be good, right? Like, you kind of, like, outgrow that. Whatever you grow your matrix to be, you outgrow it. But you choose your own matrix. So, like, don't be so stupid that you're going to choose the matrix of, like, especially the one where you're, like, you started it when you're, like, in school. You're like, oh, yeah, like, I'm so young. I'm so, like, popular. Like, all these people like me. Like, my ego is so big, right? Eventually, then the cracks in your matrix that you're building, that you're choosing, are going to be as you get older, you just become a different person, and then you hate everybody you that becomes a different person because you hate the fact that your matrix of what you thought your entire soul's worth was like the one thing that, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't really care, but I'm like, if this helps somebody out there, if this helps connect two random points of information, it's not going to, but if it happens to, you know, like, if it were to, then I'm not going to say it's worth it. I'm definitely wasting my time, but if that can be made into a positive thing, then I'm helping myself versus trying to stop myself from wasting time, because you're actually supposed to just be like, actually, I'm grateful that I even had the time. See what I'm saying? But you don't want to walk around like I have to preserve, like, this list of qualities about myself that are going to get in the way of any type of self-growth that I could have been using in this time. It's better to waste the time because you're so grateful you had the time. Because you could have just not had the time. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to get it, it's fine. But, like, if somebody out there does get it, then this did something. Maybe.